Welcome to the deep dive. We basically take everyday things and try to pull out some really useful insights for you.
Exactly. And today, that everyday thing is, well, the daily routine. Super familiar, right?
Totally. We've been watching this video from Mr. English channel, and it features two people, Emily and Paul, just describing a typical day.
Yeah, and look, on the surface, it seems really simple. Wake up, brush teeth,
hmm
you know. But we want to dig in and pull out the practical language, the verbs, the phrases.
And understand how people actually talk about their day. It's like a shortcut, really, to describing your own life in English.
hmm Because even the simple stuff, the really mundane bits, they're packed with language learning opportunities and, cultural hints about daily life, too.
Okay, good point. So let's jump into the morning then. Emily, she wakes up around 7 a.m.
Yep, 7 a.m. And Paul's a bit earlier. He's up around 6:30, an early bird.
Right. And the first action they both mention is getting out of bed.
Yeah, that's a key one. Get out of bed. It's phrasal verb, get plus out. And it really marks that first step, doesn't it? Moving from sleep to, well, being awake and active.
It really does. Okay, so after getting out of bed, next is usually the bathroom, right?
Usually, yeah. So phrases like go to the bathroom, then brush my teeth, wash my face, super common actions.
Core stuff. And the verbs are pretty simple, but essential.
They are. And notice it's often go to a place, like go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen, and simple present tense because it's routine, like I brush my teeth. Habitual.
Okay, makes sense. Then yeah, go to the kitchen. Emily does this to make breakfast.
Right. And for her, it's usually coffee and toast, maybe some fruit, she said, like a banana or an apple.
Yeah, Paul, though, he's more of a tea and cereal guy.
So even there, you see variety in just a simple meal. But that phrase, make breakfast, is really common.
More common than prepare breakfast.
Yeah, I'd say so. Make breakfast just sounds a bit more natural, for everyday chat.
Got it. Okay, after breakfast, get dressed.
Which just means put on your clothes, as Emily points out. Simple explanation.
And if they're heading out, they might also need to put on my shoes or put on my coat.
That phrasal verb again, put on. Really useful for clothes, shoes, jackets.
It is. You put on things you wear.
Exactly. Unlike, say, put on weight or put on a show, totally different meanings. Context is key.
Right. So they get dressed, maybe put on shoes and a coat, and then they leave the house.
Emily usually goes to work. She works in an office.
And Paul, he sometimes works from home, but sometimes he also goes to an office.
Right. So those destinations, home, work, the office, they're central, aren't they?
Definitely. So could we map out Paul's morning as an example?
Sure. So Paul, let's see, wakes up 6:03, gets out of bed, goes to the bathroom, washes his face, brushes his teeth,
Okay.
then goes to the kitchen, makes tea, has cereal, gets dressed.
Puts on shoes and a jacket if he's going out.
Exactly, if he's heading to the office.
Yeah.
Then leaves the house and goes to work. Boom.
That's a really clear sequence. And just listing that out, we hit a bunch of important verbs.
We did. Let's see, wake up, get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush teeth, wash face.
Go to the kitchen, make breakfast, have breakfast.
Right, have breakfast, get dressed, put on shoes, put on a coat, leave the house, go to work.
Wow, yeah. That's a really solid list just for the morning routine. Very practical.
Absolutely. So, okay, moving on to the daytime. What happens at work?
Well, Emily says she often sits at my desk and works on my computer. Pretty standard office stuff.
And she mentioned specific tasks, like answers emails and writes reports. Sometimes she has meetings with my colleagues.
Right. Again, present simple tense for these regular things.
Exactly. And Paul, if he's working, maybe from home, it's similar. He sits at my desk, uses my computer.
But his tasks might be different.
Yeah, he mentioned things like maybe he'll write articles or prepare lessons. And he also has meetings, but sometimes they're online meetings.
Okay, so the core idea of work is there, but the specifics change. Using verbs like answer, write, prepare makes it clearer than just saying work.
Definitely adds detail. Okay, then inevitably comes.
Lunchtime. They both have lunch.
Right. Paul often goes for something light, a sandwich or a salad. Sometimes he brings it from home.
Or he might go out to eat.
And that verb have, again, have lunch, just like have breakfast, means eating the meal.
Yeah, it's versatile, isn't it? Like have a shower or have a meeting.
Very versatile. Depends entirely on what follows it. So have lunch.
And then it's usually back to work until the end of the day.
A classic phrase. Signals the work continues after the break.
Okay, so that's the main chunk of the workday. Let's shift to the evening. It starts with go home.
Right. Getting home kind of marks that shift,
Yeah.
from work mode to personal time.
And Emily mentions how she might unwind. She could relax on the sofa and watch TV.
Sounds pretty standard. Notice on the sofa, we sit on sofas and chairs.
Good point. Then, often, it's dinner time. So the action is cook dinner.
Yeah. Paul apparently likes cooking pasta, or maybe a simple soup.
Emily enjoys cooking too, she says, and trying new recipes sometimes.
So, different styles again. But cook dinner, cook pasta, cook soup, that verb cook is central to making food.
Makes sense. After dinner, chores maybe?
Sometimes, yeah. Emily often washes the dishes, a task many of us know well.
Definitely. What else might they do in the evening?
Well, Emily also mentioned activities like read a book or talk to my family or friends, just general relaxing things.
And Paul?
Paul sometimes likes to go for a walk. Good exercise, he notes. Or he might listen to music, maybe something relaxing.
Go for a walk. Another go plus activity phrase like go swimming or go shopping.
Exactly. And listen to music. You always need that to after listen when you say what you're listening to.
Got it. Okay, so the evening winds down, getting ready for bed.
Seems like it. They both mentioned they'd brush my teeth again.
Makes sense. And then the final action of the day, go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Paul tries to hit the hay around 10:04 CU or 11:0400 p.m.
Emily's a bit later, maybe 11:30. Little variations reflecting different sleep needs, I guess.
Probably. And, well, that brings the whole cycle around again, doesn't it? Wake up, live the day, go to bed, repeat.
It really does. And looking back at what they described, it's all built on these core actions and the words for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if we were to, pull it all together, we've covered a huge range, actually.
Yeah, from the very start, waking up, getting ready,
going to work or working from home, having lunch, finishing work.
coming home, relaxing, dinner, evening activities, and finally, going to bed.
And the key verbs, just to run through them maybe one more time, we had wake up, get out of bed, brush teeth, wash face, make breakfast, have breakfast.
Get dressed, put on shoes, put on a coat, leave the house, go to work.
Right. Then at work, sit at my desk, work on my computer, answer emails, write reports, have meetings, or maybe you write articles, prepare lessons.
Have lunch.
Have lunch, yeah. Then go home, relax, watch TV, cook dinner, wash the dishes.
Read a book, talk to family, friends, go for a walk, listen to music.
And finally, go to bed.
Wow. That is actually a really comprehensive list. Super useful if you want to describe your own day.
Definitely. And the video itself gives some good advice here. They suggest you actually try it.
How so?
Think about your day, your specific routine. Try saying the steps out loud in English, or even just jotting them down.
Ah, okay. So actively using language helps it stick.
Exactly. Saying it, writing it, that really cements it in your mind, makes it easier to use later.
And they also had that reminder, didn't they, about, being patient.
Oh, yeah, totally. Learning takes time. Practice helps, but you got to be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small wins, Progress isn't always linear.
That's such a good point. It's a journey, right? Every little bit helps.
It really is. Each phrase you learn, each verb you master, it's a step forward.
So I guess whether you're, deep into learning English or maybe just curious about how we structure our days, understanding these basic routines and the words for them, it's pretty foundational.
It really is. It gives you a solid base, doesn't it, for talking about everyday life.
Yeah.
And eventually for more complex stuff, too.
Yeah. Which kind of leads us to a final thought for you, the listener.
Think about your own day. How is it the same as Emily's and Paul's? How is it different? What are the unique parts of your routine?
And maybe, what specific words would you need to describe those unique parts? Something to chew on, perhaps?